Hello everyone and welcome to Hidden Encounters on the RPG Limit Break channel. Whether you're watching us on YouTube or Twitch, we welcome you and hope you are having a lovely weekend wherever and whenever the sound of my voice reaches you. We are taking the opportunity today, as we often do on Hidden Encounters, to show off both different games and, in this case, different runners and cultures than you may normally see on the RPG Limit Break channel. But we do this in the interest of showing you that everyone is welcome. We love all sorts of games and all sorts of runners. So without further ado, we're going to be showing you a game from Shanghai. This is going to be Afterimage with our runner, Kay, or kurushiidrive. Kay, how you doing today?
Yeah, hey everyone. Hey, thanks ateatree as well. I'm KDrive, and I'll be running here Afterimage, which is a 2D side-scrolling Metroidvania developed by Oregon Shanghai. This one came out in 2023, but in the year 2026, we've got lots of lovely things to be able to showcase for the speedrun. This category specifically is going to be for Pyro % restricted, and my two commentators here, Robbo and Azuarc, will be going over what that entails over the course of the run. Speaking of which, what's up, Azuarc and Robbo? How are we doing?
Hello there, how are you?
Yeah, pretty good. What's up, Robbo?
Robbo, you there?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, looking forward to commentate this with you.
Yeah, and thanks again, both of you, for coming on for the commentary help. So yeah, this run's going to be pretty difficult, to say the least, so I'm going to be leaving it to Azuarc and Robbo to give all the explanations and stuff, and I'll get my save file started here. So time will start from my selection of the difficulty. So I'll count down from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Good luck. Have fun.
Thank you so much.
And even from the beginning, the very first thing we note is that there is a difficulty select between normal and advanced. It's worth noting, if you try playing this game, normal is a difficulty that was added later to make the game easier for people. Advanced is the true difficulty of the game that was given at launch. As you can see, Kurushi
So, to speak a little bit about the start of this run, already we have a dash, which isn't the most common thing in Metroidvanias, and that's what we'll be using as our primary movement technique to start with. We're moving towards the first boss of the run, which is actually a scripted loss. You can see here Kurushi is also using a little sword technique there, where he attacks in midair before a ledge, and he kind of lands on the ledge a little bit quicker than normal.
The other thing that he's using there is a technique known as crouch canceling that speeds up his attack rate significantly. He is doing exactly what it sounds like. He's attacking and then crouching, and it's just a basic animation cancel. It makes things go much faster. You're going to see him doing that a lot throughout the run. And oh no! Run's over, we lost. I mean, oh yeah, that's scripted.
So Renee can
Sometimes
respawn
one of the most difficult things to do in games is to perish quickly.
Yeah,
sorry,
that
you were
boss
saying.
So has some attacks that are quite slow and do not immediately kill us. We wanted the laser beam attack there, that insta kills us, but not always consistent to get that.
Speaking of weapons, there are in fact 6 different weapon types in this game, as well as a number of different upgrades that you get to them throughout. You can find about 15 copies of each of those 6 weapon types. We are primarily going to be using sword for now until we get a scythe, although I guess Kurushi just picked one up. You can equip 2 weapons at a time, so you'll also see him occasionally using the scythe. The sword is slightly faster, which is why he's using it to break that barrier. However, we're primarily going to use the scythe for attacking because it does better damage and it has very good reach. Kurushi is mostly avoiding all the enemies, except he did kill 1 bird for experience purposes. If you'll notice in the upper left, there is a level meter, and he wants to be level 2 when he fights the boss, just because it gives him an extra talent point.
So we're using the sword in midair as we land on platforms. Is that to animation cancel or something like that?
It cuts down on float a little bit.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's a great question. So there's a lot of subtle platforming optimizations that we do right now in this run.
I mean, we know that, you know, I feel like anybody who's seen a Metroidvania or indeed played one for themselves know that they are, especially at high level, extremely high APM or actions per minute kind of games, but understanding what each of the different kind of macro or micro actions we're doing and what they do to optimize the speed run is a different matter entirely, just from understanding that there's a lot going on.
Yeah, exactly.
The early game doesn't, I mean, it's very, very enhanced, it's very refined, but if you want to see some APM from Kurushi, just wait until we get into the third map area. We are currently heading across the fourth map area, rather. We're heading across the second map, which is known as Rainbow Plains. There is a boss at the end of it, who will be known as Triple Question Mark. They are a recurring boss, but we are not going to see them again today. This is a fight that Kurushi is going to try to get her stun locked into a corner to bully her, but if not, this fight can take a little while. That said, when we get to the next area, we will be getting a movement ability, and that is going to allow things to go way faster.
Are we on a specific version of the game to have access to what looks like an animation cancel there with the scythe? Or it's just something that anyone could do? Nice.
It requires a certain rhythm, otherwise it doesn't quite work the same way that K-Drive is showing off here. But when it's done right, I mean, the DPS is off the charts compared to the regular side attacks. So you'll
seems
see
that
this
way from how short that fight was.
For perspective, I don't do the crouch canceling very well, and it usually takes me like 2 to 2.5 minutes to clear that boss.
So this is Resting Town, essentially the NPC hub of this game, which we'll not be spending much time here at all. This is a merchant, Alice, who will be buying some resting potions from. They are our main
fast travel.
in fact, our fast travel method. Yeah. So any of the trees, which are essentially checkpoints that we've touched, we can fast travel back to at any time using the resting potions.
There is a second mode of transportation, or I guess teleportation, where there are small trees and large trees, and the large trees you can teleport between them freely without the use of a potion. However, we will not be using those in this run. It is slightly slower, and it does require picking up an item that Kurushi just went right past. We're using an interesting technique here. You'll notice Kurushi is luring an enemy onto this elevator. This is a skip that we found very recently. Shout out to Pyro. What he's going to do is he's going to lure this enemy over, and if he attacks while crouching while getting hit, it pushes him into the wall. And this allows him to basically skip this entire zone.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's like a 1 minute plus skip there. It was a massive discovery for the route. This is a gauntlet against 2 elite enemies. As you can see, Kurushi is using the crouch attack technique to essentially stun lock this guy. If he does it right, the enemy will just not get a chance to attack. I mean, he's just getting partied, right? The other elite enemy...
We can see that we're a little bit underpowered, or we would be if we didn't have access to this crouch cancel method.
That's exactly correct.
Hits that's taken to these enemies.
I mean, the fact we skipped a large part of this area, we are quite underleveled yet.
The game does have a lot of equipment that we can kind of bridge the gap with. However, we don't have any of that equipment yet. Speaking of equipment, though, look at Kurushi go! We just got a dash, and or a slide, rather. And the interesting thing about combining the dash with the slide is if you do it in the right rhythm, you can go really fast. We're going to see that all over the place, including in this next area, the Field of Geo, which is very timing-centric. There are enemy cycles that Kurushi is going to be very carefully weaving between in order to keep himself moving. But it's going to look very... very clinical, very precise, everything that he does here, just because of how practiced and refined all this movement is. Avoiding all the traps, avoiding all the enemies, and getting through everything.
Yeah, this may just be my intuition as somebody who plays a lot of Metroidvanias, but you can kind of tell from the animation and like the startup frames that the air dash and the slide are really meant to be moves that are used in different circumstances. So watching Kurushi mix them together so effectively and with so little wasted time in between is really impressive.
I agree. That's one of the things I absolutely love about this game is the movement. I think that it is fantastic. It is one of the highlights of the game. Truthfully told, I think that just about everything about this game is really good, other than maybe the presentation of the story is a little awkward. That has to do with it being a Chinese company. They translated awkwardly, and they also put a little bit of a strange framing device that makes it hard to follow. They wanted to kind of do the Hollow Knight Dark Souls thing of making it mysterious, and it got a little too mysterious. Kurushi here is doing a special attack while jumping to keep himself in the air a little bit longer. That allows him to get to that chest up there. We now have a new weapon. He is going to be using a third weapon type briefly here. He has not just the regular sword, but now he has what they refer to in the game as a blade. It's basically a katana. We're going to be using that to fight the very next boss in the next area, which is much easier done with that katana. So as we leave Field of Geo, we're going to be heading into Emerald Falls, where that boss is, and that boss is going to be a very important boss. It's going to give us the all-important double jump that we will need for getting around.
So on the way up, we'll be picking some potions up, which will be vital for some of the later sections. The boss coming up is incredibly scripted. Due to the damage output of the weapon that we've just picked up, we can expect every single attack that the boss throws at us and kill it in exactly the same way every time. So as you can see, Kurushi will be using the jump attack. It hits twice very quickly. What it can also do is parry enemy projectiles. So during the second phase, which is coming up right here, the enemy will, hopefully in a second, when it flies up in the sky, there we go, will attack with a flurry of projectiles that Kurushi will parry in midair, as well as hitting the boss at the same time, and just melt his health bar. So there goes loss, and we now have double jump and down kick.
The dive kick is also going to allow us to toe tap off of enemies, which is going to lead to all kinds of improved movement between the slide and the double jump. We are pretty well going at most of full speed here at this point.
It's worth mentioning that this game does have contact damage, so Kurushi, for the most part, will be doing his best to avoid contact with the enemies. Although sometimes we can travel so fast that we just slide directly through the enemy's hitbox, and we can get through them before the hitbox is even registered or fully loaded in. So that can happen in a few spots.
Some of the enemies have an animation that plays out when they enter the screen. And if we are going fast enough and we go past them before that animation finishes, they're not actually in the game.
That's one of my favorite things about speedruns, especially of like games that are built on small independent engines from small independent teams. It's like, hey, there's just this little eccentric thing about how the game, you know, the hitbox doesn't spawn in immediately when the enemy's animation starts, and we can use that to our advantage as speedrunners. I love seeing little unique things like that with indie games.
Oh yeah, so lots of exploited in this game, don't worry. A lot of exploitation mechanics, 100%. So we took a little detour there through the column, and then Ashen Canyon. Oh, go ahead, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying that's also kind of a hallmark of the Metroidvania genre in general.
100%, yeah. So right there we just picked up a new side of Torture, and we're moving on to the next boss. If you'd like to take this one, Azu.
Sure. Aus is a real troublemaker of a boss. She is very unpredictable. Unlike the previous boss, who we know exactly what he's going to do at any given moment, Aus has a mind of her own, and she likes to spawn lots of projectiles. The only saving grace is that she has 3 checkpoints in her health where she pauses and does this stun that we can make use of. But once the third stun comes off and her hood is off, it's game on. Fortunately, if we've done enough damage, we will get her into the point where she will start going into her final attack, where she decided to eat an attack there in order to get to it, and now everything's fine. But if you do not handle that boss well, it is a nightmare to work your way through, because there are just projectiles everywhere. It's like a bullet hell. Fortunately, we didn't have that happen. Kurushi had a reasonably good pattern, and took the one hit that he is able to take. We are getting to the point where we are not going to be able to take a hit for a whole lot longer. We're going to have to get some new armor and equipment in order to make sure that that happens. But fortunately, we made it through Ouse. Ouse drops a whistle. That whistle allows us to summon a stingray that is going to serve as our boat. There is, in fact, a small overworld map that we're going to see in just a second after we get through this very minor boss here. This guy, you're going to blink and miss him because there's not much to him. And now that we're through there, we're going to get onto the docks and head out into the water.
Even though that wolf was very easy, I believe that it's a one-shot or a two-shot, depending on which attack you get hit by from him, so it's still incredibly dangerous, but Kurushi definitely killed him there with the scripted technique. So now we're in the overworld.
Has anyone played Donkey Kong Country 3?
Not 3, I've played 1.
Okay, that overworld, and just especially like the kind of motion on the stingray gave me enormous Donkey Kong Country 3 vibes. If you're not familiar, I recommend looking it up later. It just felt like somebody had inspiration from that game.
This game certainly shows its inspiration for a lot of other games, including Hollow Knight and Symphony of the Night. You're going to see a lot of that. All right, Kurushi just picked up a healing glyph. If you notice in the upper left by his health, there are now 2 symbols. There had been 1. Those are the heals. They serve as refillable heals that will come back every time he rests. However, the healing glyphs have a very important purpose in this category as well, in that we are going to need to collect like 8 or 9 of them in order to be able to access the ending that we are striving for. So a big part of what we are going to be doing throughout the run is going on a few detours here and there in order to get those healing glyphs so that we will be able to access the final cutscene. And speaking of detours, we are actually taking a marathon detour here for safety in order to get a piece of armor, since we normally skip that in when we're truly going for world records, but in order to have marathon safety, we're going to head up into the side area and grab a nice pair of boots that are going to keep Kurushi reasonably protected throughout the next segment of the run, because he will be going into a very dangerous area that is way higher in level than anybody has any business being at when they are level 9.
Yeah, it might not look it so far, but literally every enemy that was in that little spot where I got the armor from one-shots, and if I didn't get this armor, then the area that we're about to enter right now, all the enemies would one-shot me as well. So,
yeah, this area is even higher in level.
Yeah,
and while when you're just throwing runs at it, it makes sense to be like, yeah, no, it's fine. I can just spin up another one. We would like to be able to finish the run we have here for you today, I imagine.
Yes.
So this is Holy Grounds. This is very much a late game area, which for whatever reason the developers have allowed us access to early. I guess it's quite infamous for being an area where a new player will arrive here and just get one shot by these flies and then think, "What? Where am I?"
That's the game teaching you something, An open world game worth its will typically allow you to go to areas and then just give you that lesson within the first 30 seconds of being there of, hey, you shouldn't be here yet.
Exactly. Come back later.
Check this out right here. Bounce, slash, bounce, and grab in the chest.
So smooth looking.
And the item he got from the chest is a new weapon. As I said, there are a lot of different weapons you can pick up. There's like probably about 15 in each category. We've just gotten a really powerful new scythe. Because this is a high-level area, it has a high-level weapon in it. And so we come here first to get that high-level weapon, and when we leave here and go elsewhere, Kurushi is just going to slaughter enemies with it. There's an example of...
There's a good example. Yeah. Sliding right through.
Going fast enough on that one.
So another reason why we're here isn't just for the weapon and for the additional experience. We need to come here anyway for general story progression, but also for an NPC quest that begins here. That'll be a little bit later, but we've already made the journey here, we might as well pick up some goodies while we're on the way. And then we're going to leave and then move on to the next normal progression area, which is Whispering Forest.
So I should probably take a second to talk about the category itself. There are a number of different categories. This is an enormous game. If you think it's big so far, you haven't seen anything yet. This game is huge, and by Metroidvania standards, there's very few games that compete with it. Maybe Eterna Noctis, I don't know, maybe Silksong does. I haven't really done the comparison on that one. But there are also a lot of different endings, and we are going for a particular category that we refer to as Pyro percent, because we're going to be ultimately heading to the endings that take place in the fire zones. But to get there, we're basically going to do Afterimage World Tour, where Rushi is basically going to do a mad dash through every single zone in the game. Part of that is to get those glyphs that I mentioned earlier, part of that is to get the necessary upgrades to be able to handle the areas, and part of that is for some other story items that we need to take care of, because we do have to beat 2 particular bosses in order to reach the ending as well.
Yeah, to further contextualize that note about this game being long, even by genre standards, you can see the timer there on your screen says just over an hour is our par time. This game, according to how long to beat, is somewhere between 25 and 40 hours, depending on how much of it you see and do. So... yeah, we're
only 25 to 30?
25 to 40.
I'd actually expect it to be higher.
So,
Yeah, I guess it would depend on whether you go for true ending or not. Because I think for true ending, it takes a lot of people like up to 60 hours to do it.
oh, wow.
And then completionist even longer. Yeah. But for first
I
ending,
speedrun the true
25 hours
ending,
makes
and
sense.
the speedrun is like 3 hours at least. I usually do it in closer to 3.5.
Coming up, we have a really cool skip here that K-Drive found, called the Whispering Skip. And he just did it first try, you know. Just
Oh,
yeah.
Don't even give us a chance to talk about it.
Yeah, sorry.
with some really
Yeah.
cool
Screw up
movements,
little.
air hovers, and a little pop-up at the end. You can get through that area, which skips all of this area and gets us pretty much straight to the boss. It's really, really nice skip.
Yeah, getting that first try is pretty insane in a marathon. I don't think I've gotten it first try in a marathon before.
We're heading to a boss that's going to give us one more very important ability. Just like in any other Metroidvania, we need some sort of way to climb the walls, and Failure here, which is an experimental failure, that's where his name comes from. He is guarding our wall climb right there. And right as he's grabbed it, Kurushi is immediately going up the walls. You can see it works
I
very similar
appreciate
to the wall climb.
especially having chosen to get that scythe before coming to this boss, where you couldn't do the standing reset attack nearly as often. So having that extra DPS made that boss way faster.
Oh yeah, that weapon
The
definitely
extra
makes a
DPS
huge
for these
difference on
bosses,
failure.
it's massive, yeah, huge.
Speaking of bosses, there
especially
is a very
boss coming
high-level
up.
boss. Yes, go ahead.
Yep, so we're in a, again, very, very late game area. We also can't really see. There is a way to clear out some of this purple mist. That takes time, of course. We can
Yeah.
see just fine.
When
We're
the
going to move
speedrunners
up
never
here
needed to see what they're doing. They just know it by memory, right?
Exactly. And we're going to be fighting the boss with this as well. So this is Gongo. Incredibly late game boss. Something like estimated level,
like level
should
60,
be about
level
level
70.
70 plus. Yeah, and we are 18. This boss, you want to slide under most of its attacks and dash away from that particular one there. As you can see, our damage is fine, but it's not mirroring it like some of the other bosses we're dying. So Kurushi got to be really, really careful on this one. This one absolutely will one-shot. So Gongo's now in second phase. We're going to bait out the portal tentacle attacks to the other side so we can get back close to it and punish. It should do 2 scripted attacks next, where it bows its tentacles and K-Drive can hit it from the back. And it should do 1 more attack that we can slide under, and that should be it. So that's one of the scariest bosses in the run. Can easily cause problems. You know, it's absolutely one shot if you get
I
hit.
appreciated the very practiced and smart movement of going across the top of the screen to make sure those projectiles coming out of the portals were You know, the hurt box wasn't anywhere on screen as K-Drive was moving around. Really
Boss
clever
is easy
stuff.
to manipulate, but he is also very scary, as Robbo was saying. Much higher in level than the rest of that zone. He is basically a hidden boss that you have to kind of find. Obviously, the earlier boss failure went down way faster, and with good reason. We're about to go to another boss that's more on failure's level here. The, quote, Unstoppable Devil is another fight where we basically just pummel her to death. There is, however, one attack that we're hoping to avoid, because it is just a forced, like, 10-second delay. Oh, did it early.
You see this one by any chance?
It wouldn't give it away.
The part where we couldn't hurt the boss, mostly.
Yeah. Now this is another forced death. The devil is going to set us back to a nearby tree, and we're going to have to basically re-clear through the area. That's fine. You get to see a little more of the zone that way. So far, the main purpose of our run has been to just go east and learn to swim. Renee is secretly has aspirations of being in the Olympics, but she doesn't know how to swim. So we're going to have to learn that. That is the entire purpose of our journey so far, is to get to someone who will teach us how to swim. We have maybe 3 more zones we need to go through in order to accomplish that. Along the way, however, most of what we've done is part of the any % run. The next section you're about to see is not. This is a boss that gives us a ground pound, and he is very much off the beaten path for if you're just trying to get to the very first day. Whoa. A little off. But we're heading our way towards Xenowatcher, who is a little bit more annoying of a boss to fight. You might see Kurushi pop a couple potions in this one, because stopping to take the time to heal doesn't really work for us in this fight. It is a somewhat fast-paced fight, but also a fight that has a lot of different attacks, depending on which way the boss is facing. He has a magic side, and he has a melee side, and depending on which one's facing you, you have one of 4 or 5 different attacks. So we have to be very careful not to get cornered, because it's very easy to happen with the way that he bounds around the screen. Oh, shield attack. Another waste of time attack. Not quite as bad as the one from Unstoppable Devil. There's phase 2. And this is when the attacks get a little upgraded, and they will probably be a bit more challenging. Oh, and the charge attack like that. That was rude. Alright, so we made it through there, but you might have noticed Kurushi, for safety, did use a couple potions, because that fight can go very wrong very quickly. But we've got it, and now we will be able to do a ground slam. Ground slam breaks certain floors, but it also has the advantage that it can be used to break some of our crystal mounds. That's the currency in the game, similar to the dues in Hollow Knight. Or, dues. It's called dues here. It's called Geo in Hollow Knight. But it serves pretty much the same purpose. On that note, we have been collecting a fair bit of money. Money is actually very important for this run. We have to very carefully manage and collect enough of it without spending too much time getting money that we don't need. So Kurushi's very carefully mapped out the money that he needs, and we're going to need it soon. We haven't really had a whole lot of need for money other than way back at Resting Town when Kurushi bought a bunch of those resting potions. But beyond that, we're going to see that we're going to need some money for a number of occasions coming up, and so we are making sure that we collect that. And when we encounter future dew mounds, the big blue crystals, we're going to probably ground pound them in order to break them instantly. The area we're in now is called Silent Coast, and it is a traversal nightmare if you don't know how to do it. I know that I still sometimes have trouble getting through here. Kurushi is very good at it, though. In the any %, we wouldn't come up to the very top here, but we do have this one item that's going to be needed for one of our, I'll call it, sub-objectives. So the item he just picked up there is going to be for a quest that is going to be needed in order to get one of those glyphs that I mentioned earlier.
So this boss coming up is the Runic Guardian. It's in our way from heading eastward to learn how to swim. Again, very, very simple boss. As you can see, it's dying very, very quickly. It should only really get 2 or 3 attacks out. The crouch attacks are just that strong. Because the boss is a ground-based enemy, we can abuse the crouch attacks to its fullest effect. But we'll see coming up that some enemies are always in the air, and you can't really abuse the crouch attacks so much. So we'll be using a different technique for those. That'll be in a little bit. So now that we're past Runic Guardian, we'll be heading to a boat that'll take us across the misty waters. And this is one of the 2 parts in the run where Kurushi can kind of take a break, have a bit of a drink, relax the fingers. I've got to take this boat ride across to the Field of Hydro.
We love a run with a little bit of break in here somewhere. As somebody who tends to run games that don't really have breaks, I always appreciate when there's an option in a run. While we're in that period, K-Drive, would you mind telling us if there's any sort of story? Like, I know you run a lot of Metroidvanias. What brought this game on your radar?
Yeah, there's an interesting story behind that. Actually, I hadn't played Metroidvanias until 2023, which is when this game came out. But prior to that, I'd played primarily just fighting games. And there was actually a video I saw on Twitter for Guilty Gear Strive back when that game took forever to boot up to main menu. You could basically, I saw a video comparing a speedrun of Harmony of Dissonance Maximum mode, Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance Maximum mode.
Okay, yeah.
To booting up Guilty Gear Strive, and it was faster. Like, it was way faster. That speedrun is like 30 seconds, and Strive takes like a couple minutes to launch. So I was like, whoa, okay, I gotta try it. Harmony of Dissonance, it looks sick. So I tried that, and then that took me on like a really deep rabbit hole. And I saw this game on Steam one day, which I don't remember how I ended up finding it, but I ended up falling in love like immediately. And from there, checked out a lot of other Metroidvanias, so that's what brought me here.
I love it. There are all sorts of ways to get into things. Sometimes it's a meme run that gets you. Like, I've definitely spoken to people who don't consider themselves speedrunners, but learned how to do like Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past any % as like a party trick. And it's like, no, at that point you are a speedrunner. It counts. I don't know what to tell you. You do speedrun now. If you want to speedrun other things, you're already in a good place for it, because you understand a lot of the fundamental ideas.
Well, some good news. We just learned to swim. Renee can now begin her Olympic career.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, I mean, it was funny. When you mentioned that earlier, I went thinking to myself, Sonic has been in multiple Olympic competitions, and I'm pretty dang sure he can't swim. So I went and looked, and indeed, some of the Mario and Sonic games, when Sonic is in aquatic competitions, he actually has to wear either floaties or a life jacket. So figured we'd either have to learn to swim, or we'd have to pick up a pair of floaties for our character here.
That NPC Owl is going to be very important. We're going to be paying a lot of visits to him, because he is part of the main quest of the game that for the first set of endings that we are overlooking, but he's also part of a very important side quest that is going to allow us to invade people's, quote, soul fields, which is used in about 4 or 5 different places in the game. One in particular we need to be able to do, because the quest is quite long and the thing we need it for is quite long. If we could have just found a way to avoid that one item, we could probably shave a good 10 minutes off of this run. But unfortunately, we will be making a lot of trips back to Owl. And this is Valo. You want to talk about Valo, Rabba?
Sure, yeah. So Valo is pretty infamous for being one of the toughest, but also one of the coolest bosses in the game. In the first phase, she has regular sword attacks, but while you're attacking her, she essentially gains an enhanced version of the attack. And what we want to see really is every single attack to be enhanced, because it reduces the time between attacks. So we want to keep the DPS up and for her to do just the enhanced attacks. As you can see, K-Drive is completely destroying her. However, surprise phase 2, Valo is now going to receive a crazy amount of extra defense, and all of her attacks are going to be enhanced, and she will just give K-Drive no time to breathe. However, her HP will slowly regenerate over time. So K-Drive needs to... regenerate, that's right. So K-Drive needs to identify within a couple of milliseconds what move Valo is about to do, and then punish accordingly. As you can see, he's not doing a whole lot of damage, but the damage that he's doing is still going to reduce the duration of the boss fight. Yeah, this is definitely it's one of our favorite boss fights for sure in the speedrun. It's really, really cool. The soundtrack's awesome. Just the aggression, the complete aggression of the bosses is awesome. You definitely get into a flow state while fighting
this
her.
absolutely reads like a Hollow Knight or a Blasphemous boss. It's just the enemies up on you constantly if you give them the chance.
And then, of course, she's not done. Even at the end of all of that, she has a screen-wide AoE attack that just you need to stand right on the edge there to avoid that. Otherwise, you're just going to get one shot. So yeah, after all that, K-Drive is...
First time you fight that boss, you've gone through so much hell just to get to that point, because it's a very hard fight to learn. And then she just nukes you at the end. She's like, nope, you gotta do it again. It's very rude. The funny thing is, in this category, Valo is only needed for one thing, and that is a switch that Rushi is going to hit in about 5 seconds. And otherwise, we don't really need her for anything, but oof, there we go. Now we can get back down to this area. And that's all we needed. We're going to head down into the Sunken Sanctum, which is normally where people experience their first ending, but that's not the category we're going for here. Instead, we're going to head down to grab a couple important goodies, including 2 of the healing glyphs. One of them is going to be one required for the ending. There are a few healing glyphs that are not, and one that we're grabbing is one of those extraneous ones. However, it is still very important because it has a secondary objective that it serves as a key for an area in that field of Hydro we were in earlier. You might recall when we were in that area with the giant fish in a bowl that taught us how to swim. We're going to be heading back there fairly soon, and there's going to be a barrier that we can now get through thanks to grabbing the Sorrow Glyph. You see Kurushi in the talent menu there. It's not as daunting as new players often make it out to be. It's very simple. It's not Path of Exile-like. It's really just, there's 6 spokes, one for each of the weapons, and then there's one that's up that's for defensive, and one that's down that's for the magic attacks that we will never ever use. Magic in this game exists, but it's not very reliable as a source of damage or utility most of the time because these spells just take way too much mana to be useful. So we tend to avoid that. Oh, showing it off, huh?
Yeah, this sub-weapon, or this magic sub-weapon, is not super useful, but I actually picked it up to increase my healing efficiency, so that way potions and glyph activations heal for more, which obviously is useful for a marathon run, so...
Yeah, it's a good stat stick. Okay, we've got our 2 glyphs, and now we are going to head back to talking to Mr. Owl.
Stanley.
Oh, we're in a Town of the Exiled, I'm sorry. Yes, so the mission that Owl sends us on is to talk to his merchant buddy way back in this area we had visited way back. We're going to be... And Stanley's going to give us a laundry list of the things that Owl needs in order to free himself of the library that he has chained himself in. We're going to do all the things that Owl needs, and then we're not actually going to free him, because ain't nobody got time for that. So, a little bit rude on our part, perhaps, but we've got important dates to get to. So, Stanley is going to sell us an item. That is one of the first times we will need money on a larger scale. But in addition to that, he tells us 4 things that we need. We've grabbed a couple of them already, but we are going to be going back and picking up the rest as time permits. Usually that'll be in the sort of the cleanup phase at the very end once we have all the movement, because there is one remaining movement tech that is very, very valuable, and you're going to see how completely ridiculously busted it is as soon as we pick it up. We are heading there now. That is the purpose of heading across Field of Hydro. Also, you might remember that high-level boss that we fought, Gongor. He didn't seem to have a whole lot of purpose when we fought him, but he also gave us a skill that we're going to use in the area we're about to head to, where there's going to be a giant rock. That rock is actually a phoenix that has been trapped in that rock. And the ability we got is to remove petrification. So we're going to bust the bird out, and he's going to be so grateful he's going to take us all the way across the map. Before that happens, Kurushi's going to grab a weapon over here to the side. A very nice scythe that does water damage and is going to be very helpful when we head to the fire zones that we're heading for in a second. There's the bird. He likes to talk, so we're going to be mashing the button quite a bit here. And now we're flying to the complete opposite end of the map. We were at the rightmost extreme of the map. We're about to be in the upper left corner.
So after this nice long cutscene, we're in the Scorchware, where we can pick up another one of the primordial glyphs that we need, and also, as you can see, the ability to fly. So we now have the super jump, which is as broken as it seems. We can now super jump vertically without any requirement. It doesn't require any mana or anything like that. We can now just jump up and literally fly across the map. So with Kurushi's also going to try and get through this little gap, which isn't really intended, but with a combination of the weapon float as well as the super jump, he can just about squeeze through. So now we're a little bit closer to the next boss.
Yeah, that technique for the super jump skips like a substantial portion of traversal for Scorchware, so it's very nice that we're able to do that.
Yeah, otherwise we have to do this zone in a completely different order. Kurushi's getting a new weapon that he's not going to equip just yet because he wants to use his hydro damage scythe that he picked up out here. We are heading towards one of the two twin Pyro Goliaths. This is another one of the marquee fights of the game. It is a very difficult fight. Kurushi has trained himself on it enough that he should be alright, but it is going to be quite a challenge. These two fights are the ones that determine the ending. We're going to be fighting one and then heading in the direction of the other. That's going to be our immediate objective. This is the far more dynamic of the two. You're going to see that Agus here moves all around the screen, has a lot of different attacks. You do a much better job of reading those attacks than I do. They look so identical to me. Of course, one of the problems with this fight is that very often Agus is in the air, which means that doing the crouch canceling is not super useful to us. We often have to find other ways to get our damage in, whether it's jump attacks or just getting one or two hits in real fast. She's going to menu to get to a stronger potion because he only has the one on his hotbar. There we go. So
and you can see right there that even though we've grabbed a bunch of equipment to help with our defense, that boss is still two-shotting us. So even though, yeah, we're sufficiently more powered up than we were before, this area is still incredibly dangerous, and getting through it without taking too much damage, very, very difficult thing.
Yeah, having to be present enough in the middle of a boss fight that's hectic to like remember, okay, switch to the next potion just in case I need that is, yeah, very clear that there's a lot going on here at all times in terms of both the mechanical movement and the strategic consideration.
If you have interest in this game, I absolutely recommend picking it up, but don't get intimidated by the way Kurushi plays it because he is extremely practiced at everything here. It's a fantastic game. I recommend it strongly. Just be aware that you're going to be in for a long one. The main complaint people have is its length, because they didn't realize what they were getting themselves in for. We're going to be heading to another medium tier boss. This is Chroma, the Fire Stag. Chroma drops another item that we need for that quest from Owl/Stanley. So we're going to be taking down a deer here. After this, we will be able to leave. This is a fight that I used to do with the katana, and it was very hard. Kurushi uses the scythe and that circular attack known as Rondo to hit attacks back. And it works out very nicely to just kind of deflect all of those random projectiles that are coming his way so that he doesn't have to deal with pretty much anything.
So yeah, there's a very specific reason why we're fighting that boss. It's for a MacGuffin that's required for a long quest line we're doing. It's called the Ever-Burning Crystal, which is one of the things that Stanley was requesting that we obtain for his helping us out. So now that we've got that down, we're going to be heading over to another area. What might that area be?
That area is known as Field of Pyro. We are going to be getting to a boat that can take us to 4 different areas, but we're going to be talking to this boatman here who, again, charges us a fair bit to ride his boat, so we're going to need to spend a lot of our hard-earned cash. But this boat is going to be a long wait here as it goes out and then back into the new zone that we are heading towards. Field of Pyro is where the other Pyro Goliath lives. What a surprise, given the name. I mean, who would have guessed? But the Pyro zones are very much endgame / post-endgame, depending on how you look at it. It's well past getting the first ending. The first ending you can finish and be maybe level 40 to 45. But these zones that we're in, the enemies are all around level 60 to 65. So they're very much for doing sort of that second tier of getting through the game. And we are trying to get the ending that is related to them. It's going to require fighting our way past a bunch of, obviously, very dangerous enemies. Fortunately, we have equipment that'll keep us going, but we are also going to be picking up some new armor just to help out, because this is a high-level area. It does have high-level armor, like that one right there. That's the first, and in a moment we're going to be picking up a second to follow up with that. And then after we have done both of those, we will head over to a barrier to enable us to reach the boss of the area. We're not actually going to fight that boss right now, though, because there's no need. Instead, we are just going to hop over here and... Ooh. The enemies are not being nice to you right now. What is going on here?
Yeah, that was a rude enemy arrangement.
That was really rude. I've never seen that one before. One thing here, we can knock this tree down. Normally you expect the save points to just be static, but in this case we have the ability to bring one down from above, which was clever on the dev's part. There's the second piece of armor. And we'll use our super jump to get way high up into the air, so we can get further into the zone, because this is a very vertically driven area, even if it might not seem like it. There's that central elevator shaft that is very hard to navigate and has a bunch of barriers across it.
And right there required the ground break, which is what we killed the Xenal Watcher for all the way back when. It's right required for that that particular spot. That lets us clear the fire barrier here. That lets us get to the final Fire Goliath later on.
Yeah, that area of Field of Pyro is very important. It's actually why this this category is named as such, because Field of Pyro is where we will complete the ending for this category.
And with that, we are officially into cleanup mode, where we are no longer grabbing cool new stuff. We are just going around and picking up the things we need for our grocery list. First item on our shopping list is the light glyph, which is found in the opening zone of the game, but in an area that you would not have been able to reach at the very beginning. This boss is very high in level and requires the super jump simply to reach. But Kurushi's going to plow through this to get one of our remaining glyphs that we need. We have just a few remaining, as well as some things we need to do for Owl. And then we will be able to pop back and finish things off with the second Pyro Goliath. There's your extended look at the talent menu. With that, we will head to Field of Geo, another area that we went to earlier, but we technically could have grabbed this glyph when we were here earlier, but it's slower to do it, as opposed to now when we have all these abilities that allow us to move super quickly. You can see how the super jump just kind of trivializes the whole area. Super Jump, by the way, does have a charge time if you use it on the ground. If you use it in the air, it just comes out instantly. And with no drawback. It's not like there's charges or anything like that. There's the
Right,
item we
kind of like
needed.
the Super Metroid boost dash versus like shine sparking, grounded versus midair. Although I suppose the shine
exactly.
spark in Metroid does still have a little bit of startup in midair, but it's definitely less.
That was a ridiculously fast farm. That's my fastest farm ever, I think.
Oh, nice. Okay, so
Wow.
what we just saw there was a random drop that Kurushi had to catch from those like monkeys that hold to the ceiling there. It has about a 10% drop rate, and sometimes it takes a while for you to get it.
Sometimes it happens
but-
before you have a chance to even discuss what we're doing there.
Yes. We do have a second farm like that that is coming up. Kurushi's actually heading to that spot, but it's going to take a lot longer to get there. That farm is known for not being quite as generous as the one we just went through. We are heading into an area known as Albedo Tower. This is another fairly high-level, fairly dangerous area. In fact, I think it's probably, in Kurushi's mind, the most dangerous part of the run.
Certainly the most annoying as well.
Okay, yes. For reasons that will become clear when you see it.
So our
Parcel.
general goal right now is to get the last primordial glyph, and we need to get through Albedo Tower to even get there. Go ahead,
Part
Kedra.
of it.
Oh no, you're all good. You're all good.
We need to get through here to get the last primordial glyph, but we also need to do some extra business to the side as well that requires going through here. We're going to need to grab an item known as the Firmamental Feather, which is the other random drop that I had mentioned earlier. So our first objective is Firmamental Feather, then we leave, and we do some stuff elsewhere, then we come back, and we get that glyph. It's a forced double dip, basically. This gauntlet does require us to fight the enemies, unfortunately. Normally we love just flying past everybody. These enemies can be quite difficult, but Kurushi has a plan for how to fight them that works out pretty well most of the time. These pale blue birds, I think, are the jerk birds of the game, but if you super jump up to them and get them at the ceiling, they're trivial. And the main reward we get for doing these gauntlets is that they usually drop talent points, but we're just not even stopping to grab them. We're just continuing on into the big laser room of death. So this is... somebody had fun designing this room, because there are laser sources coming at you from opposite directions, all the way up and down that room. Fortunately, we got a pretty good pattern, and it didn't take too long to get through. But that room can be a real showstopper right there. The top of Albedo Tower also has a boss that we don't want to do, because he's really annoying, but fortunately we don't have to. We're just going to super jump through the floor and enter into the next zone and not worry about him.
So this is Sky Palace, the place where we got to do another farm, but first of all, we have a boss called Netherfeather. And Netherfeather is an aerial boss, which means we can't really use the scythe attack. We have to use the jumping attack with the katana. This boss managed to get itself stuck into the wall in practice. Looks like it hasn't done it this time. This is the attack we want to see, though, where it's just stationary and firing lasers. Kurushi is doing a jump attack into double jump attack again. So he's attacking twice in midair there. And especially with the bleed effect of the katana as well, just absolutely melts the boss.
That is
So
a boss
from
that
that
can
boss,
be
we got,
really
a key.
annoying.
Very much so, yeah.
I usually find that
Go
that
ahead,
boss is a huge pain in the tush. He has one attack that you really don't want to see. If you don't kill him quick enough, he does it, and it basically you have to dodge laser beams left and right all over the place. But even just his regular attacks, they're deceptively difficult to manage. We saw them handled very expertly, but normally it's very difficult to get those attacks off on him because he kind of sticks his butt in the way. You have to jump up high enough to hit him, but then he maneuvers in such a way that you end up getting contact damage very frequently. But it does reward us with two things. The first is a key that's going to allow us to continue through the zone, and the other is a Afterimage. We haven't really talked about the namesake of the game, but they're basically the badges or the charms, if you will, of the game. And Kurushi picked up one that is allowing him to dash a little bit further. It's also producing that tornado as he dashes. It's not super important, but it does put a little more distance on our dashes. We're in the farm now, though. This is where we are hunting for our drop, and we are just going to pray for good RNG. We're looking for a blue orb to drop out of one of these enemies. White and green are the wrong rarities. If we can get a blue item, then we are done.
We have increased our luck rate a little bit to help with this farm. Usually we don't get it until around maybe 3 cycles. That's kind of average. It looks like we cut it there already. That's not bad.
Yeah, slightly on.
We're done with the farm.
Like,
yeah. So we have a quick gauntlet here, and then we're making our way up to the Anemo Goliath. However, we will not be able to invade its soul field just yet. We're still going to do a couple other little things.
yeah, so the Fermental Feather was actually the last item that Stanley required of us. So now we're going to go back to Owl to have him complete the Soul Invasion teaching that we were looking for. However, he's still going to have one more thing we need to do, which is to charge the Hypnotic Orb and turn into a Pure Orb, and that will allow us to actually learn the Soul Invasion spell. We're coming up here to get this checkpoint that's right before a spot we're going to come back to later, which my commentators will be talking about. But yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So we're back to Holy Grounds to advance the Owl quest, as Kurushi mentioned. We'll be just dropping back to say hi, and then we'll need to do one last sort of farm where we need to charge up the Hypnotic Orb within previous area. Shouldn't take too long. We need to kill, I believe it's 10 enemies in that area, and then
20.
we will have all the tools necessary. Oh, is it 20? Yeah, sorry. To invade the soul field of the Anemo Goliath, and eventually get the final primordial glyph that we need to finish the game.
Yeah, they really put that one out of the way for us. All the other ones are just sitting on the ground. This one we have to really put in some work to get. It's hidden within a quest that's hidden within a character's mind, so, it would be nice if they could just, set it out on the ground like all the others, and we wouldn't have to go through all this nonsense with doing Owl's laundry list and everything else. But unfortunately, we are going to have to go through all this extra legwork. As you'll notice, we are just slaughtering all these low-level enemies real quick in order to rack up our kill count. There it is. Now we can leave. We'll head back to talk to Owl.
Cleanup is a time-honored tradition that viewers and runners of games that are shown on this channel are well familiar with. Sometimes you'll get an RPG where it's like, oh, if you got to this point, you must have gotten all of the objects beforehand, so we'll just grant them to you. And that's always great, but having to go find a bunch of extra MacGuffins yourself is certainly something that our viewers are familiar with.
All right, here we go. This is the hardest part of the run, so... oh my goodness.
So Owl taught us a spell that he wanted us to help him with in the library, but we are running off to do our own thing. We are heading off to talk to the Anemo Goliath, who is in a bad nightmare, and we're going to try to help her out with that by getting inside her head and doing a bit of psychology by poking around on the inside. Unfortunately, she is summoning a whole lot of enemies to kind of chase us away, and this becomes a very, very dangerous gauntlet. If you have been through High Halls in Silksong, this might sound a little familiar. It's not quite as bad as High Halls, but it's pretty bad. So not only do we have all these enemies that are getting summoned in wave after wave, including those exploding enemies, but we have the lightning coming down from the sky that really complicates things. You'll notice Kurushi does not get a breath at any point. It's very hard to pop a heal. Is the regular heal requires you to stand still for a decent length of time, and the fight just does not allow for that, which is why beforehand we equipped some potions to make sure that we would be ready to go on that front. And we are most of the way there. This wave is one of the more annoying ones. But if you manage the enemies decently, it isn't too bad. The fact that they spawn over time, and you think you're done and then more come out, makes it bad. Alright, this is the final wave here. Witches are always annoying to deal with. They are surprisingly tanky and surprisingly good melee fighters. And that'll do it. We now have
Very
our final
nice.
glyph. You can see up by the level up in the upper left corner, we have all those glyphs lined up all in a row. And that means that it is time to finally head to Agus's brother, Akil, who is a much more imposing-looking boss, but isn't necessarily more dangerous, or at least I would say that normally. Seeing as we're coming in here with fairly low percentage equipment here, it is a little tricky, and Kurushi's going to be doing a lot of tech where he's basically going to be dive kicking off of that rune on Akil's head, because that is the one thing that actually has a hitbox. Everything else that you see here is not attackable. The fight will look very scary. It's not real scary, but at the same time, if you mess up a little bit, we don't have a whole lot of room for taking hits. I know when I get here after doing a full run of the game, this is usually a completely trivial fight, but it is not completely a pushover here. It is, however, the final obstacle of the run, because after Akil goes down, GG, we are now basically going to run over to the egg. And while I didn't have time to go over the story purpose of what the egg is, that is where we will finish the game. So time will be coming up in about 30 seconds or so, where, because we have all the glyphs, we're going to go talk to the egg, and as long as Kurushi picks the right dialogue option, we will be done. Alright, final boss time. Do you pick the right dialogue option? Go on slow to make sure it doesn't mess it up.
Yep, that was time.
That's it. Time.
GG's.
It's a pretty good run. I think it's probably my best run recently. Like, I've been getting a lot of 102s lately, and this one was just a little over an hour.
That was a few seconds over an hour. Yep.
Yeah. Like, that's
considering you did your marathon safeties, that was really good.
No, generally, yeah. I think if I didn't do the marathon safeties, this actually would have been a PB, which is crazy.
Dang.
Yeah, everything you did was super clean, dude.
Yep, thanks. Yeah, I think that was also deathless, so it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, that's correct. You were able to weave in everything just as your commentators were explaining it. You know, the heals were there when you needed them. You gave yourself just enough spacing from enemies that everything went pretty perfectly.
Yeah,
well, thank you so much for showing that off for us. Yeah, you should be. If there's anything you'd like people to know about you, your streams, anywhere they can find you, like the Juneteenth celebration on Games Done Quick coming up in a few days, let us know.
True, yeah. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that is coming up. I think next Thursday is when runs start for that. And that's going to be on GDQ's channel, of course. I'll be doing a run for that as well on Friday for Castlevania Soten Rando. So if any of you like Metrovanias and especially Castlevania Soten, definitely tune in for that one. But yeah, where you can find me, I do live streaming and pretty much everything like content and stuff on YouTube. So you can find that at youtube.com/kurushiidrive, spelled the same way you see on the screen. And definitely check out the Afterimage speedrun community. Like, of course, if you haven't played this game before, play the game first. But if you're curious about this game after having watched this run, definitely check out the speedrun community. We're all in Discord, but you can find the leaderboards at speedrun.com/Afterimage. And do my commenters or anything they would like to say?
Go play Afterimage.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well said.
Yep.
Yeah,
play this
thank you
game, guys.
again. There you go. That is the message from our talent team for Afterimage. Play this game. And it actually, we couldn't have planned it this way. There was a humble store sale that ended while this run was in progress, where it was 90% off there. But there are still some places where it is 90% off. I checked istthereanydeal.com. If you want to head over there, you can potentially pick this game up for $250 instead of $25. So if that's something that's interesting to you, and if you're watching a VOD, of course, go ahead and check out the deal sites and key resellers around the internet, and you might be able to get this game for a very reasonable price. Yeah, thank you so much to all of you for showing this off. We love showing off games that are just a little bit different from what the RPG Limit Break audience expects here on Hidden Encounters. And coming up next, we'll have something that's a bit more perhaps your normal speed, but with some very unique aspects. So when we come back to Hidden Encounters, it's going to be an any percent run of Thirsty Suitors with Mocha Jones 10. And welcome back to Hidden Encounters on RPG Limit Break. Thank you for waiting. We've got something really special for you, a game that I absolutely adore, and I know our runner does too, from a studio that is a minority-led, fully distributed indie game studio creating accessible games about underrepresented cultures and themes. This is a game called Thirsty Suitors. This team's entire set of games, Venba, Thirsty Suitors, and the new Dosa Divas, has a lot of Southeast Asian culture, big themes on family and cooking, which are some really neat things that are all going to be woven into a traditional turn-based RPG in a unique way. And also, we play as an absolute hot mess who's trying to figure her life out. So if you want to tell us more about that, Mocha Jones, let's get into it.
Hey, I'm Mocha Jones. This is Thirsty Suitors, as T has so graciously introduced. Yeah, we play as Jala. She's got a lot going on. Let's just put it like that. I'm gonna go ahead and get into the game. Time starts when I hit apply. So we're gonna start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's jam.
Jam we shall. I mean,
right.
Given how this game starts out, we've got like this game's like mission statement is its version of kind of the Kingdom Hearts introduction sequence. We'll see in just a couple of seconds here. You might be familiar with how we're moving around and this whole dreamscape feel that Jala is going into. Oh, granted, she comes into it with her trusty skateboard, so.
Yes. This is Tony Hawk also, if you didn't know that already.
Yes.
So, you saw we were on the bus. We're actually heading back home because we just broke up with our girlfriend, who is also the mayor of the mayor's daughter of the town we're going to. So, yeah. And so this is technically a quiz that we're taking, but we ain't got time to answer all them questions. So, Jala's going through, like, okay, what are my parents gonna think? What's my sister gonna think? All this stuff. And
the narrator of this game, the voice inside Jala's head is her representation of her older sister, who she hasn't seen in a long time, and it's basically her own inner worst critic. There's also, if you were playing this game casually, even from the jump here, you get a taste of just how rich its writing is. There is so much like attitude here. It feels like she's speaking to a different person, but you know it's also part of her inner monologue. And then we're kind of doing the Scott Pilgrim thing, where her exes are all judging her, but as it turns out, it might be us who's the evil ex.
Yeah,
we're definitely gonna get more into that over the next hour or so.
Yes, and we're actually getting ready to fight our first ex, our third grade boyfriend Sergio.
I mean, like, it wasn't that serious, but don't tell him. As far as Sergio's concerned, It was absolutely that serious.
Yes, so serious he made it his entire life. So this is pretty much a tutorial about how combat works. This is, as you can see, QTE based. And
your moves are all turn-based, but they are enhanced by, Mario RPG style QTE actions. And there are actually a variety of different actions. There you go. Now we have the rapid button press. Everything on the basic attacks was, just timed button presses. But we've also got movement based. We've also got mashing based. There's some press and holds.
Yes. And as you see, we have debuffed Sergio. He is thirsty for us.
I mean, not that he wasn't already, but
I know, right? So thirsty is a debuff that makes him do random attacks at random people. And also, we have skills that match up with the debuff that deal additional damage if they have that debuff.
Yep.
As you can see,
in the case
use
of bosses, as you hit them with those debuffs, and you can see the debuffs under their health bar in the top corner. When you hit them with these debuffs, they also have a chance to just fail their basic attacks. You get a non-attack instead. Until we hit here and we go into phase 2, where we're inside Sergio's inner perception.
Yes, this is what Sergio really thinks of himself. He is completely invulnerable right now. And he can also throw cards at us. Oh no, how are we going to get past this invulnerability? I gotta figure out a way to do this. Luckily we're South Asian, so we're just gonna call our mom.
I mean, we were really hesitant to do that just a little bit ago, but I mean, I guess if we have to take care of our exes.
Yes.
So yeah. Sergio takes the disapproving slipper from mom, and now he is fully vulnerable again.
I used the wrong move. Actually, used the wrong move there. I should have used raging there. I actually hit a button press. Yay, go me. So this is
you
what
can
I should
also
have done.
see that
Raging.
across boss phases, the vulnerabilities do change. You'll see those icons reset, things like that.
Indeed.
And so, don't skip leg day. As Sergio has so willingly proved to us. Don't skip leg day.
I appreciate that even his inner perception of himself is relatively realistic about what he has and hasn't been doing with his workouts.
So we're like one hit away from finishing up Sergio. Maybe he'll miss here. Raging gives a chance for attacks to miss. One more attack.
Indeed.
See, Raging made him miss.
Nice.
And so now that we have thoroughly beat up Sergio, we're going to make up with him.
Yeah, think of these combat as like breaking down people's emotional walls, and then you come to some sort of reconciliation with them. In this case, it's a hearty handshake, and the idea that things aren't going to be what they were, but it's okay to get along anyways. And
Yes.
maybe we can
and also we have a ride home.
Yeah. So yeah, we're using what's technically an accessibility feature. Mocha mentioned earlier that we were taking a quiz at the beginning of the game, but we weren't picking the options. That is actually a setting you can turn on or off. So that definitely makes the game faster for the sake of speedrunning, but also kind of semi-randomizes the choices that we'll be making for Jala and the stats that she will earn as a result.
Yes. The stat we want is Heartbreaker. That increases our attack power, but hey, what we get is what we get.
And what we
So
get
we're
to do
now
now
home,
is
we're
talk to
talking to
mom
our-
and dad. Yep.
Yep.
Indeed.
And we gotta find our sister, because, we got to.
Yeah,
So,
she's getting
we're
married soon.
now
We
trying
haven't
to find a
spoken to
sister.
her in forever. We didn't get an invite to the wedding. So we got to figure out what's up with all that.
Yep. So right now we're just skating, trying to find our sister in town. Can't find her.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
by the
did we
way.
mention that this is our movement tech? If the game gives you a skateboard, you might as well use it.
Yes.
Yeah, this
Also,
is
we
the
have
one
these
time you'll
suitors.
see this is the one time you'll see our random encounters. Some of the titular thirsty suitors sent by our grandma. Now that she found out that our sister is getting married, she wants us to get married too. So she put out a bunch of ads in the paper, and random weirdos show up to try to ask for your hand.
Yes. And we just gotta, just take them out.
Yeah. It's, maybe a more literal form of dunking on them than you might get in most relationships, but we are not interested. This is not what we're here for. Thankfully, this is the only time in the game that we have to deal with the random encounters. If you're playing it casually, the random encounters are represented by those gift boxes, like the one we came across. They have a chance of granting you a random item or having a random combat encounter.
Yep, so now we are going back home. Because we couldn't find our sister. Go figure. And, no, he's mentioned it. We have to do some cooking, so we're gonna learn now how to cook while making some paratas. Hey T, do you still have those what all these recipes are?
No, but I am at a computer, so I can look it up. So
Right.
paratas are a layered flatbread made of whole wheat flour, water, salt, and then typically cooked with either oil or ghee until golden and flaky. It's like a roti, but thicker. You can have them as they're on their own, like pancakes, or you can stick them like fillings in them, like potatoes or cheese or like spinach. Those are all super common things, whether you're having them as a side or as a breakfast item. So yeah, these are basically like griddle cakes specifically for Indian cultures, and they look absolutely delicious.
They do.
There's also the only opportunity in the game we'll get to see the full approval of our parents when we make them something. So you get these delightful little cut-in scenes with your parents, like, experiencing a taste of home, quite literally.
Yes, and to close out the day, we talked to Dad.
Hey, Dad.
Why not? Hi, Dad.
That rules. Yep. We'll always be Dad's little jala banana, no matter what choices we make.
Yep. So
Shout
we're
out
in the
to
second day
supportive
now.
Parents.
And we get a text from some weird person telling us to go to the skate park. So that's exactly where we're going. So this is a story within the story, where we have to go and talk to Soundy.
You're not going to tell them who Soundy is. You're just going to wait for them to see him for himself or for themselves.
Yeah, yeah, they
Okay,
gotta
yeah.
see Soundy for themselves.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. We got to get our tutorial on for how to skateboard.
Yep.
And yes, the game does have like an actual combo system and scoring and all that stuff.
So now we are gonna meet Soundy. Soundy is the leader of the skate park. And also, we have the X.
Yeah.
Tyler is the X. So yeah, Tyler thinks that there's something going on at the skate park with Soundy. Because the youth here are like, it's a cult-like mentality here. And so Soundy's wanted us to fight his lieutenants. Their lieutenants. This is Theo and Donata. They were arguing before we even got here because Theo thought Donata was cheating on him. And so, yeah, we're just going to fight them.
Their relationship might be on the outs, but they found a common enemy who matters more than them fighting each other, so they decided to fight you instead.
Yes.
And they do that by throwing, mental skateboards at you. And maybe real
That's
ones.
nice, right?
Hard to be sure.
We're just going to break their hearts. That's all we're going to do. Break hearts and throw broken hearts at them.
I was going to say, that does seem like the main skill that Jala comes into the game with, so...
Yes. Good, nice pass there. Was not expecting that. So Theo is down. Now we have Donata, who will also become heartbroken now. because we broke Theo's heart.
I was gonna say, it turns out when you beat up somebody's boyfriend, it's kind of upsetting.
Yeah. Ooh, nice crit again. I think don't know if I can attack with Mom yet. No, we're calling Mom. We're gonna call Mom. Get her to help out with this.
Yeah, and the main reason that now's the time to call Mom in is also because, as you can see from the bars by Jala's portrait, we have HP and then also willpower. So our special skills are based off of the willpower we have available to us. So because we didn't have the ability to use another skill, it was either a basic attack or call in Mom.
But we got her down. We got him down. So now we gotta go back and talk to Soundy. Go figure. And now we get to do some skate challenges. So while we're doing this, hey T, what's your favorite part of this? Because I'm not really doing anything right now. Like,
What's
this
that?
is
This
auto
challenge,
skate.
this game out and out. Favorite part of what?
This all of this.
Oh geez. I mean, I love this game's art style. It's super stylized, but in a way that, like, you know, I imagine represents in part like the cultures of the people who made it, also the culture of the place the game takes place in. You know, it's got a very like Pacific Northwest kind of style to it, in the way that people dress, in kind of the iconography of the stores and stuff around. It's such a great melting pot of cultures, as is true of all of Outer Loop's games. You know, maybe Venma's kind of the most like, this is a personal story from us about our culture, whereas with Thirsty Suitors and Dosa Divas, it's more like, we're going to take our cultural values and stick them over stories about other things, you know, whether it's a story about somebody finding themselves, you know, coming into adulthood, or a game about fighting capitalism, which is what Dosa Divas is. So if any of that sounds good to you, definitely check out Outer Loop's catalog.
Yes. All right, now that we're done with our skating cutscene, we're going to talk to Tyler. Say, hey, okay, fine, we will help you, you know, uncover what's going on here. And now we gotta take care of Dad. Dad, he's hungry. Mom's been taking away all his good food because he's got some health problems. So we're going to sneak him some real food. So we're going to go to the store and buy him some real food. And look who just happens to be working the shop. It's Sonata. Sonata's pretty mad at us still.
Hard feelings? Yeah, maybe. But whatever. I still got a job to do.
Yeah. And so we take Dad the food, and we're going to end the day by talking to Dad.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah, and I will say that all of Moga's splits for this game, each day, the last split for each one, it's like, Dad is great. We love Dad. Let's hang out with Dad. And I totally get it.
Okay, so we are now making our next dish.
Indeed.
Oh, was this kate samba?
Yep. The kate sambal, or sambal, is a condiment more so than anything else, but it goes great with a variety of other dishes. It is crushed red chilies, shallots, and salt, along with a kind of fish, typically referred to as Maldive fish, and then lime juice. So it's kind of a sun-dried tuna that gives the rest of the spicy ingredients an umami flavor to balance it out. Yeah, you basically just place all, like, if you're preparing it for yourself, you take all those ingredients and kind of food process it, and then you can put it on basically anything else that you like. You could put it on top of the parathas we made in the last chapter, or with a lot of the stuff that we're going to see coming up.
Yes. We're making this for Sergio because, hey, we're at least cool now. So Sergio asked us to make it. We're going to take it to him.
Yeah, that's our side content throughout the rest of the game. Once you start making up with your exes, you can also like do favors for them and try to bury the hatchet further. You know, the idea of being beyond understanding and actually being friends with your exes is something that Jala's come into terms with.
Yeah. There are, like, if you level them up far enough, you can actually get some of them as summons, but we're not doing this run. So now we're gotta go back to Soundy, because hey, we're working here. We gotta uncover the cult of Soundy.
I mean, I don't know
So
that we necessarily gotta, but like Jala's the nosy type, so I fully believe that she would take this on herself.
Plus Tyler asked her to.
That's right. That's true.
Indeed.
So now we're going to face another one of Soundy's lieutenants. This is Cece we're coming up on. Cece is... What's she, Cece? So just like we did with the last fight, we're going to make him heartless. Do a heartless taunt, just throw hearts at him. Now I want y'all to note the level difference real quick. I'm level 6, CC's level 10.
Yeah.
We don't really level up in this run.
Right, we don't want to do this fight without any of the advantages of taunts and things like that. Like, you can level up, you can do the side quests, you can get to a point where you don't necessarily need to know characters' weaknesses up front. But if you're going to do it like this, as an any percent speedrun, you probably do need to know all this.
Yes. And she should be about... She should be raging now. Yeah.
Yep. I think it's very thematically appropriate, and I think we do a good job of kind of peppering these in throughout the course of the game, where the kinds of taunts that people are weak to really do represent their emotional status. Like, these kids are all pretty emotional. You know, they like care about their town. They want things to stay the way they are. They don't want the skate park to be taken down. So them getting behind Soundy's movement and kind of being taken advantage of in that way is like, that does leave them vulnerable to being heartbroken and having their illusions about life in this small town shattered.
Yep. So now we are going to fight our second X. That's what's the text message we were waiting on right there. Our second X is probably my favorite. We are about to fight Dia.
Yeah, I dig it.
Okay, cool. This is Dia.
Indeed.
Check out the print on those pants.
Indeed.
Oh, I love the graphical style in this game.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, second best track in the game. Impressive.
Yeah, if we want to get into the messy details, so Sergio was like kind of separated from everything else. Dala kind of broke up with him because he was just a little nerd and it was 3rd grade. She wasn't serious about it. She didn't realize that he was. Dia is where things start getting messy. Dia was bullying Tyler originally. And so Jala went to confront Dia because that's the kind of like, you know, I need to be involved in figuring these things out person that Jala is. And then over the course of trying to talk Dia down from bullying Tyler, Jala and Dia got into a relationship behind Tyler's back. So that happened for some months. It also resulted in Dia's parents finding out that she likes girls, which threw her life into disarray. And she had to grow up real fast to figure out how to put things together. And then Jala broke up with Dia to be with Tyler. So yeah, nobody was happy with how that all played out.
No. And there's a little bit of jealousy too on Dia's part because Jala's parents are supportive of her relationship choices. Well, apart from, you know, constantly breaking up from them.
Right.
Partners that Jala has. Dia's parents do not. So there's a bit of jealousy there.
Yeah, they support her preferences, if not her life choices.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we've taken a debuff of our own, but we can get in a quick workout with Auntie, and that'll clear off both our buffs and debuffs from the board. We'll see that happen a few times throughout the game. And as we phase change here, you do see that Dia's weaknesses have changed.
Also, I did mention this before. Whenever you do get a taunt off, you get an extra turn after that. So Dia is now in this kind of loop of doing this powerful attack that she's been doing. It will not stun me again like it did before, because that was for story purposes. But we're just gonna keep throwing tape decks at her. So this should be... Nope, not yet. We're gonna call Mom, because Mom should be able to take her out. Oh, one more hit. Also love the... Okay, that's fine. One more good hit. And Dia is down. And it's just like with Sergio, we're gonna make up with with Dia. And make sweet, sweet music.
Yep, I appreciate that the finish of every fight is a little bit different to kind of represent the different texture of your relationship to that person.
Yep, so now we're going to go home and talk with Dad to end their night. And Dia tells the other exes what her experience with us. Which, keep in mind that just about every ex has that talk with the other exes. Remember that. It's going to be important soon.
Yeah.
Especially in, like, chapter...
Dia was the first one who brought it up, but Sergio was like, oh yeah, me too. Yeah, you know, Tel's not so bad anymore. I feel like I could get along with her, maybe.
Okay, so now we are going to make egg hoppers with Dad. Egg hoppers look really good, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, this is definitely something that I would be interested in making for myself. Granted, you need, or it seems like you might need specialty pans. These are also kind of a form of pancake, but it's really a dough that goes around a sunny side egg that's in the center. So it just kind of looks like a crepe or a pancake that grows up around a sunny side up egg. It's rice flour, coconut milk, and a little bit of sugar with that egg in the center.
Last step. Ryan.
And naturally, I love that also all of the cooking, in the interest of improving the quality of the cooking that you do, is also QTE based. It's actually technically also based on the questions that get asked to you between the steps of cooking, which is why you don't see 3 stars on any of these other ones. Also because it technically slows things down a little bit to get that other cut in, as opposed to just one of these. But yep, there's a lot of story development and like contextualizing and giving extra texture to the characters in the game that happens while you're doing this cooking.
Alright, so now we just got a call from Soundy again. Soundy is in town now. Soundy's, I don't know how Soundy gets around everywhere, but they just do.
I mean, considering where we find him, probably used the sewer system, which is weird that it connects that evenly to, you know, that far outside of town, but...
I know. Anyway, we're going to head to our third X. Which involves his cat, Sharuk.
Yes, I was gonna say yes and no. We're gonna pick up a cat that we might actually happen to recognize quite well, and our third X is gonna come find us.
Yes.
Yeah, Irfan has the cat carrier. He's that kind of pet dad.
Yes, but do you not see Sharuk's style here?
Yeah, so turns out this boss fight isn't really with Irfan per se. It's about it's with Shahrukh, who is trying to protect Irfan from getting hurt further than you already hurt him.
Yes.
Irfan is in RPG terms strictly a support class. He is just here to make Shahrukh's life easier.
Very much so.
And as such, Irfan isn't really our target for the first part of this battle.
Nope.
We're just
and that miss there was good. Yeah, I have again. I do have the upgraded raging move, which is the boombox. As you can see here, Ifran just heals. Because that's what Ifran does. Ifran's a town vet, by the way. Oh, 2 misses. Wow.
Yeah, and you want to get into Jala being messy. Irfan told Jala that his dad was dying of cancer, and Jala decided to kiss him as a way to like sympathize, and they got into a messy relationship as a result of that.
Yes.
Because Irfan is, as the in-game Thirstopedia says, the information about your characters, Irfan's listing in the Thirstopedia is an actual cinnamon roll. He's just that
really
nice and unassuming, and so Jala just like gave him the wrong idea and went with it. So they were in a relationship for a while until Dia exposed that they were going out together at like was happening behind everyone else's back. And then the other kids in school blamed Irfan for getting in the way of what was, you know, the public relationship they were all aware of between Jala and Tyler. So Irfan was ostracized. Jala just kind of didn't do anything to fix that. And it's just been Irfan, Shahrukh, and Irfan's little sister, who we'll meet in a little bit since then.
And by in a little bit, it's literally after this fight.
Right. Please don't let your cat do whatever that was right there. That is not good for them.
Yeah. No. And as you tell him that, Ifran should know better.
Yeah, right? Naturally, he's a little more permissive towards his own pets. Shahrukh is the one who's been there for him all this time, so I understand why he'd baby him.
So Ifran having a change of heart actually helps us now. So Shahrukh, we just gotta make up with Shahrukh now. There it is. And Shahrukh, after we defeat him, just turns very docile.
Yeah.
Look at those eyes. Look at those eyes.
I love that he's actually the one you make up with in this fight. Like, Irfan can't find it in his heart to really be that mad at you, so he's not the one you have to reconcile with during this fight.
So now, after we've taken care of that, we go talk to Soundy. As we alluded to before, Ifran does have a sister. Guess who Soundy's next lieutenant is?
Yeah, Irfan might not have found it in his heart to be mad with you, but I promise someone in the family is.
Yes.
Indeed.
So we are going to head to Aisha, his sister, and face her.
What do you mean? We're just gonna have a nice chat. That's what it said on the objective. We're gonna have a chat with Aisha.
Yeah.
Sure, what they'll find. She'll understand, right?
Yeah, sure. She's not gonna throw skateboards at us or anything.
Ah, yeah, well.
Yeah, she is so mad at us that we have to face her twice. Spoiler, we'll face her again later in the run. Oh, she's that mad at us.
Yeah, right. Her brother had to raise her basically by himself after their parents passed away, and you came around and made that much more difficult for the both of them. So, yeah, if Irfan's not going to stand up to you, Aisha definitely will, enough for the both of them.
Yep, and that's Aisha.
Yeah, this is the first fight in a while where we're actually kind of close to the right level for it, so.
Yes. Just waiting on that phone call from Tyler. So we're updating Tyler on what's happening at the skate park. And here's your front talk with the Exes. So remember, this happens every time. Remember that. And also remember how we fight them. So at the end of the day, as always, hi Dad.
Hey Dad.
Okay, so now we get a phone call from Ifran, which I love this. Delibas. By the way. What are these?
Yep. So, jalebis. Jalebis are kind of like the South Asian version of like funnel cake or elephant ear or that kind of. It is a flour batter that gets deep fried into spiral shapes and then soaked in sugar syrup. Often, like, they hit it with a pinch of saffron or cardamom for extra flavoring and finish on it. But basically, it's just like deep fried flour. So,
yeah.
If you've ever been to a state fair, you have a good idea of the starting point. But then the extra spices and the finish and the fact that it's like a long kind of spiral of it that you can play with while you're eating it is the extra touch on it.
Yes. I was just at a fair this weekend and got funnel cake, so.
Very good.
So now to frying it, and then we will be done making these.
Yep. And all the cooking we've done so far is relatively straightforward. Like, you've seen the same sets of QTEs for doing different actions. I appreciate that they're all like relative to what you're doing with the thing. Like the frying pan goes in all directions, but we're gonna get a little mix up in our cooking before too long here. So don't get too comfortable with the cooking we've been doing.
Yes. Also, I was going to mention this. Whenever Efron texts, Efron puts his name in the text.
Yeah.
And Charlotte calls him out on it.
He signs his posts.
Come on, get down. Thank you. Alright, so now we gotta go talk to Auntie Sandra. Because, again, we've been fighting these skate punks. They rat us out. They rat us out saying that we've been messing with them. And so what do we do? We go fight more skate punks.
Yeah, they can't take you on their own, so what else would they do besides, you know, decide to turn to authority?
I don't know. But hey, we have to fight more of them.
Of course.
We are going to fight the captain of the skate punks.
Yep. And this is technically, like, this storyline has a couple of different resolutions, typically dependent on the choices that you make throughout the game. But as we previously mentioned, we're not actually making any choices, so it'll be a bit of a dice roll to see how this storyline ends when we get there.
So I'll know if we can get a poll in chat, but say if the sound or the skate punks or Soundy wins, who people think will win.
Yeah. So it's either the skate punks rise up against their leader Soundy and decide to take the town back for themselves, or Soundy finishes asserting control over the group and controls that part of the town for himself.
Nope, not yet. Okay. I was thinking to see if I had the updated version of this move, but I don't, so we'll just keep going with it. Also, Salma summons somebody else to help fight us. Alright, so I'm gonna do this.
It's fine. Don't mind
never
him.
used
He's
this.
just a little sleepy.
Yep. We also do have AoE moves. Also, I love how she hits that last one with her hip.
I mean, you know, it's not a party trick if you don't do something a little different with it.
Exactly. Also, speaking of all that, in Outer Loop's newest game, Dose of Divas, the powered up attack for one of the characters hits a walk with the hip action.
Perfect.
Okay, Salma's almost down. Let's throw this at her. Finish her off. The level difference is actually coming into play here.
A little bit.
Oh yeah, we also were weakened by Salma's attack. Nice miss. Right there, Salma, so now... Also, enemies can taunt. Yay, we got impressive taunt. That's fine. I don't mind the impressive taunt. That actually helps. Plus it heals me. But also gives a chance for me to miss. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, what was it? The last time we did this run together, I think you succeeded on impressive taunts 9 out of 9 times throughout the run.
Yes. Hey, the streak continues. Okay, there's the impressive taunt gone. I don't have enough willpower for that, but it's fine. Ha! He took his own self out. They took their own selves out. I love that.
Anything that saves that extra turn, we're always here for it.
Exactly. So now we're going to go talk to Tyler again. Give her an update. And now for the actual best track of the game. We're gonna fight another X. Go figure. This is a Bruno we're getting ready to fight. Oh, let me help. So Bruno is... We think that Jala had it bad for messing with people.
Indeed.
Bruno ghosted us. Bruno left us somewhere and ghosted us.
Yeah. Yeah, he was with Jala, or no, I think Jala ran off with Bruno to like get away from family pressure, kind of the teenage rebellion thing. And then Bruno was like, yeah, no, it's not that serious, and ditched you like 3 towns over.
Yep. And so this is the actual best track of the game. Who would not want their own
Sentai
theme like
theme
this?
song? Yeah.
Yeah, Sentai theme, yeah. So this is a triple battle. We're just getting encounter after encounter after encounter with multiple enemies now. And just like his personality, Bruno is all about sweets. That's kind of what him and Jala connected over is sweets. Whatever. Cool. I think Bruno calls Jala his jelly bean, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh, nice crit. Oh no, I used the wrong attack. Go figure. We're good, we're fine. Won't get an attack there. But... oh. We're fine.
If I remember right,
impressive.
Bruno's the only one who's an even bigger schemer than Jala, because like Bruno knows the stuff he's doing is going to catch up with him. I'm pretty sure his parents think he's still in business school and like don't know that he's just kind of messing around. But yeah, he also, I think you find out from some of his side missions that he actually does plan to invite Jala on another road trip again, where he hopefully won't.
He gets ghosted. Jala gets ghosted. Like 100% ghosted.
Right.
We're still passing.
Don't worry about that. That's
yeah. Everything's fine.
Yep.
Everything's completely fine. Okay, let's see if this... oh, that's our first fail.
Oh. An unlucky number 13. Go figure.
Yep. If it was any other taunt, I would probably just go ahead and clear it off. But this is actually one of the most productive taunts because it heals you.
Yeah, it keeps you exactly.
So now Bruno's world is falling apart, quite literally. Mom. This shouldn't clear it. Should get close, yeah. This should clear it. So now we have beaten Bruno, and like always, we make up with our X. Ooh, that was rough. So now we're going to go home. And talk to Dad, because Dad is the best. Now remember, all the X's have been talking up to this point, right? All the X's have been talking up to this point, after we beat them. Not the same thing for Bruno. Okay. So now, remember how I said that we're gonna fight her twice, fight Aisha twice. This is Aisha 2. If Ron wants us to talk to his sister for us to make up, since they made up, since Jala and Efron made up, it's time for us to make up with Aisha. And you notice I had to make it to where it doesn't auto-advance the choices. This cause I have to choose particular choices in this fight for it to progress. I love how she processed a trolley problem as a problem for Jaw to answer. I will say, this Aisha 2 fight is a very interesting concept. Because it's different phases based off of the answers that you give.
What is escape?
And you're not actually debuffing her, she debuffs herself by your answer.
I mean, in a sense, you could say that she's impressed that you understood what being a skater's about, but...
Yeah. Not gonna waste willpower there, because the last answer shocks her. Because Jolly admits, like, hey, there's stuff I could do to make up to you what I did in the past. Like, this gotta probably be the biggest thing that Tyler's done. That Jolly's done.
Yeah.
Because, again, remember, Jolly is a big mess up.
Yeah, there's a reason the voice of her older sister is constantly in her head, you know, when she's making decisions, talking to people. Basically, anytime she's not actively engaged in doing something with someone else, the voice of her older sister is telling you, like, why would you bother? Why are you trying to improve yourself? You're just going to find a new way to screw things up.
Yep. Speaking of screw things up, this is Andale. They are X number 4. Andale is also numbers. No. Anyway, Andale is also Tyler's best friend. We can't really do anything right now. No taunts yet. I love Andale's whole aesthetic. Like, their whole story is probably my favorite sub-story in the entire game.
Yeah, absolutely. They are a person who is super in touch with having multiple facets of themselves. They're totally comfortable with that idea, and that makes them a boss fight that has a bunch of different phase changes outside of just different HP. You know, they phase change regularly and comfortably, and you just have to try to keep up.
Yes, and along with that, I don't know what to taunt with until, like, I just miss with one, and that was a miss.
Yep. Yeah, and this is a case where the ex broke up with you, and like, this relationship wasn't serious to them, and the thing that they resent you for is messing up their friendship with Tyler.
Yes. And so, they're also, like, the music producer in town, which is really cool. Their actual sub-story, you have to go get their tapes back from the people around town, which I think is really cool. Also, if you look at their moves, like, it represents, like, the things that they are dealing with. Like, one of their moves is called Family Pressure. All their moves are music based. Shocking.
Indeed.
that yet. Oh, and they healed themselves. Heartless? Cool, Heartless. Each playthrough of this, Andale's weaknesses change. Each playthrough. There's no set thing about how to beat Andale.
Yep. Yeah, this fight is not deterministic.
Yeah. Use Auntie to heal here. Get some willpower back as well. I do have the updated version of this move. So now Andale has come to terms with themselves. Okay, I'm gonna have to just deal with this being shocked for one turn. And oh my goodness. We're just gonna call Mom.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, one of the things that there's so much extra flavor around the edges of this game that the speedrun just can't show you. One of the things that comes up in this fight a lot more than many others is all the writing they do. When you use a taunt, Jala will in fact have something to say to the ex or the suitor, whatever the case may be. And there's just the difference in writing. Like, if the writing is not effective, or if the taunt is not effective on whoever it's being used on, Jala's taunt is, like, less well thought out and doesn't hit the recipient in the same way. Oh boy, we're having a time of it today.
Andale is not being nice to me today.
Okay, we finally got to resist on a taunt at least.
Yeah. Too bad I don't have enough willpower to... Yeah. But hey, at least Andale won't attack me right now.
True.
Okay, we should be in the clear. Don't have that. Oh, Andale's finally down.
I think that was the roughest version of that fight I've seen us go through together so far.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes from this.
But the makeup screen makes up for it.
True. Alright, and it looks like we got a Heartbreaker rank, so can't be mad about that.
No, I see that we have like 8 ranks in Bohemian.
Yeah.
Which is not helpful at all. But hey, we do finish the night with Dad.
And that's always something to look forward to.
Yes, it is.
I appreciate the game spots you a random other healing item since there are days when you don't cook anything.
Yes. Also, we're about to make the fish fry now. So if you want to talk about that.
Sure. So pomfret is a specific kind of fish. I forget what other names it might go by. Let me see if I have that here on me. Yeah, I know there's like a US kind of trade name if you find it around, but this is a specific kind of fish that gets, you tend to like cut it up so the spices can marinate in the fish as you're making it. But it's a whole fish. You cover it in the spices, including but not limited to some of the stuff we made earlier in the game. And then you're coating it in like semolina flour to make it nice and crispy, and you fry it in a shallow pan. It's a white fish, so it's not super robust like the shape of the fish. You want it cooked evenly until it's nice and crispy all the way across. Stuff like lime juice, ginger, garlic, turmeric, red chili powder, coriander and cumin, garam masala. These are all very common spices for your fish fry.
Yes, and it looks delicious. I want to. This is one of the dishes I actually really want to try.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I might not leave the tail on, but other than that, I'm totally here for it. And hey, if somebody tells me the tail is good too, I could be convinced to try it.
All right, so this is the story progression chapter of the game. Fly across, thank you. So we are going to first Auntie Chandra because gotta do some story stuff here. And then we head to the skate park. And this is where we see who wins.
All right, let's see it.
All right, is it Soundy? Is it the skate box? And it is skate punks. It looks like. Yep, skate punks.
Right on. Power to the people.
Yep. Oh wait. I went to the wrong place. Okay, I talked to Tyler now. Let Tyler know what's happened.
Yep. Now that we've solved the town's biggest problem, now we can figure out what to do with our own biggest problem.
Yep. Which is going back on now. Hey, remember, we talked to Tyler. We have resolved Tyler. Quote unquote.
Yeah, no, this is a good enough solution for Jala. But Jala is only one of the two people in that relationship, so.
Yep. But as I've noted, that hey, they all the exes talk. The exes here, like Tyler's like, yeah, I talked with Tyler. Everyone else like, did you have like an existential battle with her? And Tyler's like, what are you talking about?
It's like, you what? Like, none of this is that serious. I'm not interested in talking to Jala, or at least I sure haven't been. Everybody else is like, what do you mean? We like all figured out how to bury the hatchet.
Yep. It's all for Kiryabath. This is the longest cooking section.
Which makes
and
sense.
Also the most story intensive.
So, Kiryabath is contextualized as like, this is often one of the first solid foods that children in Southeast Asian and Sri Lankan cultures actually eat, because it is essentially a rice ball that's put together with coconut milk and salt and sugar. So you can turn it into, like, you could put sambal on top of it and make it kind of like an onigiri sort of thing. Spicy onion powder. You could put bananas in or on top of it. It's a little bit of everything. And it is just like a cornerstone of Sri Lankan culture and food. Specifically, it's Kiryabath is milk and rice. So, you know, you've covered the important ingredients there, but you can also have cinnamon, cashews, bananas, or like a spicy sambal as the topping on top. It is a very delicate dish to get right, as is shown by all the different steps we have to go through to make it.
Yes. And of course, taking this dish and making it like the dish that has the most story progression for Jala and her mom.
Yeah.
They in fact make a "you're stirring the pot" joke. Why are you stirring the pot? But in this part of the story, Jala is facing her mom and talking about all the things that she's messed up on, and mom's like, I messed up too.
Yeah.
Like you hear the music cut.
Yeah. This is also a traditional dish that's like good luck and celebrations for things like birthdays, New Year, and of course weddings. So, you know, makes sense that we're making some Kiryabath now that we're planning on burying the hatchet with our sister and seeing about, if she wants us there at the wedding.
Yeah. Very emotional time during this whole cooking sequence. So tense and yet so satisfying whenever you finish it.
I appreciate that we also made our milk rice in both the traditional square and diamond shaped versions of it.
Yeah. So now we actually get to talk to Aruni. We actually finally get to see our for real sister.
Indeed.
And bury the hatchet with her. So after making up with our sister, we go to Auntie Sandra, which is where Tyler is, and talk to them, all them.
I'm sure this will go well.
Yep. And now it's Tyler's time. We've been talking about the X. It is time for the X. Also, the mastermind behind this whole ordeal is none other than our sister. Go figure. Because Sisha did not want drama at her wedding. So it's Tyler time.
Yep, these two have been together on and off, emphasis on off, since 3rd grade. Jala was the one who broke up basically every time because she thought she wanted something different. And, yeah, Tyler needed some time to process all that. And the idea of Jala being back in town and actually having to figure out how to deal with that as somebody who let her down so very many times over the years.
Yeah, alright, Jala's been with Tyler through a whole lot.
And has also put Tyler through a whole lot.
Yeah. Also, we get our first instance of emotional damage.
Yeah, so Tyler knows all of Jala's other exes. This is a relatively small town, and Tyler's been here trying to make life better for people in town this whole time. So of course she knows all of your exes and can weaponize them against you, or at least
yes. Even if she does not realize what they actually are about.
Right. Yeah. If you've been reading everything up to this point, you'll notice that the way all of the X's are written, or the mental conceptions, is subtly different from who they actually are. But that's just kind of the way of knowing people. You kind of push your own conceptions and versions of them onto who you understand them to be. And because they are emotional constructs, and because they are here to try to hurt you, the fact is that Tyler is also doing emotional damage to them. So none of them are around forever, and they do take some damage pretty much every time they get a turn.
Yep. That's a good phase 1. Nice. So now we have Dia. Going to get some willpower back. This part is kind of scripted. So this is a good portion for me to actually get willpower back. Yeah, we'll go ahead and get you raging. Okay, that should phase. Yep. So now, Imran.
If you've been paying attention also, you notice that the individual X's have weaknesses that can be exploited, and Tyler definitely does not.
Yeah. So now she's going to send Ifran away and bring up Andale. And they are going to... Again, this is I really don't have to focus on much here because they're like here for like 2 or 3 turns.
Yep.
So this is a great.
I appreciate how
just
brief.
low power
I appreciate how brief Tyler or Irfan's phase in particular is. I feel like even Tyler's thinking, "Why are you here? You have your own life to live."
All right, now we're to the meat and potatoes of it. So once we heartbreak Tyler, oh, nice crit.
Nice.
Also, our sister, our inner voice, Tyler can hear our inner voice.
Yep.
And our inner voice is
there's-
talking to us during this entire encounter.
There's a couple extra fun things here. There's that, and
Yeah.
there's if you were to try to call your mom, turns out your mom likes Tyler at least as much as she likes you, and your mom and Tyler just get along, and no attack happens.
Yep, it's great. Alright, so now that we've buried the hatchet with Tyler, it's time for the big reveal. We're gonna go talk to our parents, close out the day, where we find out that... Okay, come on. Yay, auto choice. Okay. We found out that our grandma is coming tomorrow.
Yeah, her influence wasn't just limited to trying to find you a match. Especially when that didn't work out, she's gonna come put the hammer down in person.
Yep. Okay, so here's Patty. You wouldn't want a grandma like this. You know?
Most people.
And of course she wants us to cook parathas.
Yeah. But she wants you to cook parathas right.
Yes.
Remember that point where I mentioned there were going to be some twists and turns in how we do our cooking? Yeah, it's time for that.
Yeah.
We are now cooking under the distinct supervision of Pati. And, yeah, you might find she doesn't approve. Did you notice there were only 4 steps when we started?
Yeah. There's 4 steps, right? No, there's 5.
Are you sure?
Oh, wait, why are we doing this again? Patty didn't like how we kneaded the dough.
No?
No, let's start all over again.
Yeah, if you can't prove you can do even the basics right, you might as well start over. Don't forget to spin in place while you wash your hands. It's very important to make sure everything gets clean.
Yep. I don't think we used salt last time, did we? Why are we using salt now?
Well, if we didn't do it
So
right
anyway.
last time.
So this whole ordeal has us, if we actually pay attention to the dialogue, Jal is actually defending her mom against Patty.
Yeah. Pati's beefing with everyone.
Yes.
And she decided she wasn't happy with the answer she was getting, so she decides to enforce her will. And
Yes.
yeah, as the matriarch of the family, her will is fairly impressive, as you can see. She's got her own entire inner world that we got to figure out our way through.
Yep.
Thankfully, we do
And
also
so
have
we
the
are-
accessibility feature on for auto skating.
Yes.
Look around, Jala.
Was Patty send suitors at us while we're in her inner
I
world.
want to wake you up.
I love how they're just screaming and holding on for dear life.
I mean, none of them signed up for this.
Nope.
You just filled out a newspaper ad.
Don't you dare sleepwalk into this life.
So we're about to face Potty. We got this fight. We totally got this fight.
Sure, definitely.
Yeah, level
Only a
18 versus
couple-
level 30.
She's only like a dozen times our size. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
You can fight her
We got
fingers
this.
first and then move on. You know, it's like Kefka. You gotta fight one phase at a time.
Yeah. Also, Evo, you know? Evo moment there.
Uh-huh, yep. We gotta Daigo it up, maybe a few times.
Yep.
Also, and like, I appreciate that we didn't get any feedback, because we kind of can't comprehend the true form of Pathi's attacks.
Exactly. Hey, we have taken a chunk out of our health bar though, so that's
Did some
something,
damage,
right?
Yeah. We still got a few health points left.
Yeah. All we need is one, right? All we need is one hit point to get through this fight, right?
Yeah, and we got 5 more than that. So as long as she doesn't get to attack
Exactly.
again, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like our chances here.
Nope. Alright, as Kurushi talked about in Afterimage, there's scripted fights that we gotta lose. Hey, there's a scripted fight we have to lose here.
Fair enough.
Yep.
But, you know, when we're at our lowest, who else is going to help pick us up but our family?
Exactly. Everyone that we made up with.
Yeah, no, your
now-
mom finally finds an opportunity to empathize with you. Like, seeing what you've gone through with your exes is not that different from what she went through with her mom. And what you've
Yes.
gone through with her mom, too. So, she gives you her blessing to go try and settle things.
Yes, but she won't help us immediately.
Yeah, well.
Like, you can face my mom, but I'm not helping you. So, yeah, Potty's arsenal contains actual suitors that she throws at us. I love that little aspect of this.
Yeah, no, in case it wasn't clear from the size of, like, the fact that you're both standing taller than buildings, you're actually technically having a Godzilla fight, which is another great,
Yes.
you know, tradition
Alright,
in
I'm going for it.
games.
Going for the thirsty taunt on Potty.
No.
Did not get it. Okay.
Not this time.
Not this time. She is raging, though. Okay, got the raging, but that's not gonna stop the attack from going off. If I gotten the thirsty, this attack
Yeah, it would've.
she's about to do won't go off. So having to use Auntie Sandra just a little bit sooner than I would have liked, but it's fine.
I
Nice
appreciate
miss.
they managed to work a Shin reference in there, like Shin Godzilla.
This is probably like my second favorite fight in this whole game. Just cause it the last sequence that comes about.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Okay. One more. Actually, I want something soundy. I haven't summoned soundy in a while. It's just funny. You can summon soundy. Okay, what? So we need her about half health? Or her to face into the next phase.
And if you're wondering part of why this fight's taking so long, again, you know, take a look at the levels of each character in this fight.
Yes.
Alright, let's keep our luck going.
Here's Evo moment again, and we're actually blocking this time. Let's try Heartless.
I appreciate that she does the Chun-Li step forward and kick with the other leg. Somebody is clearly an FGC fan.
Yes. Heartless is a good taunt to have. Okay, this should put us in the phase 4. Our last phase here. So now we're just talking. We're fighting with words now. We're going through all the emotional stuff, trying to reconcile everything. And to finish the fight, we call Mom. It's finally time for Mom to take care of things. And the important thing, Mom reconciles with her mom. And Tom's gonna come up as soon as I hit Makeup the Potty. And Tom.
GG's.
and Dad just comes out and gives a thumbs up.
Yep. That's like, I'm not really part of this, but I'm glad it happened. I'm glad everybody made up. Good work. Good work, everyone. Good work, Monka. A thumbs up
Good
from
work,
that is
T3.
you, my friend. Hey, thank you. Yep, and then you get to speak your way through the credits.
Yep. You see Soundy in the background here. Spinning about.
Yep.
And one last thing.
Yeah, I figured you want to finish up with this.
Yep.
Yep. You got a town mascot here who is also technically practice for all the game's QTEs, if that's something you're looking for.
Yep.
Can you pet the dog is one thing, but can you dap the dog? And in this game, you can. Mocha,
and each of your exes that you... Yeah, I was going to say, each of your exes you fully reconcile with, you get a screenshot like this at the end.
True. Yeah.
Which I really like.
Yeah,
that's been Thirsty Suitors.
The love that went into this game from everybody who made it, and also from you showing it off for us here today. Where can people find you if they want to see more of what you have going on?
When I am live, I am on Twitch at MochaJones10. I post speedruns on my YouTube channel as well at MochaJones10. You can follow me on Blue Sky at mochajones10.blacksky.app. Yes, that is blacksky.app. And yeah, I will also, Kurishi mentioned it, I'll be hosting this weekend for Juneteenth on the Game Sung Quick channel. I'll actually be hosting Kurishi's run. So you can see both of us at the same time.
That is awesome.
Yes, so that's me. I'll also be at GDQ if you want to actually see me there. I'll be running this on early Monday morning, so.
Yep, that's going to be an absolutely fantastic time, and I will have the honor of being there once again. So, thank you for joining us here today, and thank you, all of you out there watching, for joining us as well. I have one more message here at the end of this hidden encounter that I'd like to read from Selcouthmind. Hey everyone, Sel here. I unfortunately couldn't be here today to host, which is extra sad for me because this is the final episode of Hidden Encounters, at least with me as its showrunner and host. It's been a wonderful year of shows bringing you indie and obscure RPG speedruns and their passionate runners and friends. Thank you to everyone who's watched and supported the show. You helped make this from a test idea into a wonderful, successful series. A special thanks to everyone who'd been on as a runner and commentator, and to those who applied. I wish I could be there for more episodes so your incredible runs could be showcased. I also want to thank Limit Break for giving me the chance to run this show. Thanks especially to the Sid for being willing to adapt to me coming on as a showrunner, to Wexel for consistently following up on requests I made to help make the situation for show running better, and to Ashen Prime for being the rock behind the scenes for all of these shows. Thank you as well to ateatree for stepping in last minute to host this episode. Thank you all for watching Hidden Encounters. This show, as you know it, may be over, but I'm sure we'll meet again. I encourage you all to keep finding, playing, running, and supporting indie and obscure games and their developers. Do not let your passions stop. Take care of those around you, and remember that you matter. Thank you so much from Selcouthmind. And thank you, Sel, and all of you out there for continuing to watch Limit Break content like Hidden Encounters and whatever comes next. We'll be back with you next weekend for more speedrunning and RPG fun. Thank you so much.